Thank you for joining me today for another episode of Tactical Tuesdays. Today's topic is the IRS and government website compliance. So, what you need to be compliant and how to do it with our Accounting Works Pro platform. So, let's talk a little bit about the stakes of non-compliance, I would say. Today, we're talking about something that often gets overlooked, sometimes in our discussions with our client base or new clients. Sometimes they just aren't as aware, perhaps, of some of the regulations and guidelines or the risks if something does happen to you, right? So making sure your website and your online tools meet IRS and government compliance standards, and most importantly, that your site infrastructure is backed by best-in-class security is a big deal, right? So this isn't just a checkbox. It's about protecting your clients, protecting your firm, and making sure you're not left behind as regulations and lawsuits increase. And I'll give you a story too about the ADA side as we go through this. So that's one of these risk issues. So what are the core compliance requirements? Okay. And I'm going to go through, there's different regulations for different groups. I'm going to start with the ADA website accessibility. So your site must be usable by people with disabilities. I'm going to go through a demo. Right now, I do have a site up. You'll see this little icon here, this little widget, and I'll go through this as we go. But this is how you make your website, or all our CounterWorks Pro websites are compliant with ADA. But I'm going to go through this and kind of explain to you why you need to have it, right? So that's the first issue. SSL certificates. Believe it or not, there's some clients even that come to us that don't have SSL secure websites. Some of our competitors actually charge extra for SSL. It's a requirement. You need to encrypt all client-facing websites and client-facing communication. So whether that be your client hub, whether that be your contact us form, any other lead capture form, you need to make sure that it is protected by SSL. And included, I want to add reCAPTCHA. So Google reCAPTCHA is another thing. It's another tool that I'll talk about that helps protect your site from bots. They're not perfect, by the way. If you made it so, you blocked everybody, sometimes you're going to actually block real clients, okay? The next one is going to be two-step authentication. This is also commonly known as 2FA. The IRS recommended security for systems that handle taxpayer data. If you read all the pubs, you'll realize this is not a optional item. You need to protect yourself. So at minimum, you and your firm and your partners and any staff should have 2FA turned on. What that means is a text to your phone, right? Or using an authenticator tool like Google Authenticator, and we'll talk about that as well. The Authenticator apps, I use Google Authenticator. I recommend it. It's easy to use. You don't have to have an internet connection. It'll still work. So it's stronger, safer to manage than text messages. So a really good tool there. Other requirements, Cloudflare, like some sort of domain protection, and I'll kind of explain what we use here at Accounting Works Pro. And then content delivery networks. So what are they? How do they make your site faster? How do they actually protect your site from unwanted bots and other people and threats? And more importantly, make a better client experience when they're using your website. Okay. So I'm going to start with Cloudflare domain protection. And I'm just going to go here. So if you are on our platform, on our 3.0 platform, our modern platform, whatever you want to call it, we have you on Cloudflare. And what this does is they have some built-in security things to help you. So it shields against domain hijacking. It does real-time threat monitoring. It's built in against denial of service mitigation. So this is a constant thing specifically for tax and accounting sites during tax season. You'll see a lot of denial of service attacks. And the idea here is that your site stays up and online even during major attack attempts, okay? And this brings peace of mind to your clients, right? Clients trust when they type in your firm's website that they're landing on a real secure destination. Someone's not faking you or compromising your website. So a big deal. The next one I want to get into is content delivery network. So what does this do? It offers faster, more secure websites. So CDNs distribute your site's content across global servers, okay? So clients get fast, lightning fast load times no matter where they are. So meaning if your site was only hosted on servers at AWS in Seattle and your client is in Miami, or let's say your client is in Brazil, CDNs will actually replicate your site or your content from your site and almost put it at a server that's closer to them. Basically, it's going to speed up the process of your site loading, right? This gives you also, if one server goes down, another server picks up the traffic. So if there's issues in that Seattle place, but you have one in the Virginia center, your site doesn't go down, right? And this also adds a protective layer against cyber attacks before they reach your main server. And more importantly, it's a better client experience. I talked about reCAPTCHA. I'm going to go here real quick to one of our websites. reCAPTCHA is a product that does a lot of things. So it stops bots at the front door. We have reCAPTCHA, this little icon, protecting all of our websites. And it's not foolproof. You'll still every once in a while get people spamming you, bugging you, but those are usually actually real humans getting through, right? And sometimes they'll use it as their lead generation, right? But this helps protect you against fake form submissions, spam messaging, any automated attacks that flood your inbox, okay? And it's seamless for legit clients. So people that it recognizes that are not bots, it's not going to block them. It's not going to use, it uses like advanced AI to verify them in the background. So they just have one click and they're in. And it also allows for extra security. So this is kind of my top layer that we have at CountingWorks Pro. So with Cloudflare, domain protection, CDN networks that we use, and reCAPTCHA, you're covering three key layers: your domain, your website performance, and your client-facing forms, okay? And also think about protecting your client hub. Okay, so that's really important. So together, they give your clients a fast, safe, and trusted online experience. So I had mentioned ADA website accessibility. I'm going to get in that here. So what does that mean? I can create bigger text. I can change the contrast. I can turn this off and on. I can allow for highlight links. I can pause animations for people that can't see fast images. It makes bigger cursors. It changes line height. It can make the spacing different. It can align text differently. So there's 100 different ways you can use this. But what's important, so the story I wanted to share is, and let me just see if I can turn that off. Well, we'll go back to that. So the story I will share is, one of my friends, we were hanging out around the pool for a water polo tournament. He runs or manages an orthodontist dental practice, and they have multiple locations, but they were targeted by some lawyers that shake you down for ADA compliance. So we build this in for every single website. If for whatever reason yours is not enabled on our 3.0 platform, 100% send a help at countingworkspro.com and just say enable my ADA. You'll see this little icon. If for whatever reason that's not on, you didn't turn it on your launch, that would be available for you. This is where you manage it. So ADA component, you turn this on. It's under websites, under settings. Again, you don't have to figure out where this is, but if this tool is turned on like it is right now, then you are protected. So ADA compliance is really important. And I would recommend, again, we default it on. So the only reason to be off is if someone turned it off. Let's talk about SSL certificates. So where you see SSL certificates, if you click on here, connection is secure. So the way these work now is you have to reestablish the connections on a timely basis. I'm not going to go into the full technical side, but all of our sites built in with SSL certificates turned on. If for some reason yours doesn't renew, every once in a while, the software may have a glitch or there's some traffic, problem or server problem. Just let us know at help@countingworkspro.com and we can just renew it real quick. You can also do that inside the CountingWorks Pro platform, but that is what SSL certificates do. This meets the IRS and to FTC guidance requirements for encryption of taxpayer data. Browsers flag non-SSL sites as not secure. An instant client red flag. Why would you want to do business with an accounting firm that doesn't have a SSL certificate on their website, right? And also Google is a ranking signal. So it can affect your ranking in Google. So again, all CountingWorks Pro clients, whether you're on our legacy or 3.0, you are protected by SSL. And that's what HTTPS means, okay? And it's really important to have that put up on every site. So if you're not a CountingWorks customer, talk to your IT person and get an SSL turned on, okay? The next thing I want to talk about is two-step authentication. I recommend Google Authenticator. There's lots of other tools. I'm just going to scroll down here and kind of explain what Google says it does, right? It adds an extra layer of security to your online accounts by adding the second step of verification when you sign in, okay? The IRS specifically recommends multi-factor authentication for all professional platforms handling tax data. So if you have a client hub, if you're doing any secure communication with your clients online, whatever devices you're using, you need 2FA, okay? It prevents account takeovers, even if a password for, so what it does is think about this. If someone gets your email and your email password and gets into your email account, if you have 2FA on and they try to log into another account, they won't have access to, if you're using Authenticator or if even the text messaging. So there's two different ways to do this. Text messaging is the most basic, probably the most convenient. But you decide what you want to use, right? Anyways, I use Authenticator. It's an easy tool. Scan the QR codes, set it up, and then you just always go back if you have to log in. It is real simple, and I kind of prefer it. So that is the two-step authentication. So it can be text messaging. Again, another device is sent a code. You verify that when you log in. Now I have two. What it means, two steps. I had first login, second code with a device that I've already said this is mine. That's how it's protecting you. Really important. So wrapping this up as far as the tools that we have in CountingWorks Pro, there's a couple things that you need to know. One, in addition to the 2FA and everything, we do have the ability for you to toggle 2FA on or off for clients. I recommend it on. Again, some clients will gripe. There is the ability actually to one-to-one turn it off. You'll also notice that we make it really convenient. So if they're not using their own email or password, they can use Google or Microsoft to log in. So it makes it easier. So right, not everyone's going to your client hub all the time. This is a nice feature for clients. So if they have a Gmail account, they already have a Google account, they could just use this very easily. So just another thing to think about. As far as your staff and admin, there's a couple different ways to do this for security settings. I'll just show you here in a second. This is where, so I'm now in settings. I hit settings, I scroll down. This is where you would set up two-factor authentication on your account for you, all your clients, okay? And there's another settings here that you would do for your particular settings. So if you click on your name and scroll down at the bottom here, this is where you would enable, and I just turned it off, but this is where you would enable two-factor authentication for you at the pro level and or your workspace. So any staff, team members that you allow to log in, that kind of stuff. So that kind of wraps up, how CountingWorks Pro protects you and your clients from different security level issues. We do use best in class Amazon Web Services for all of our infrastructure. We have redundancy, we have firewalls, we have analysis on bot attacks. We know real-time monitoring. If a site goes down, we'll know right away. So there's a lot of different ways to deal with this. So the way I look at this, when you're in the compliance business, trust, security equals growth, right? So the more clients trust you, the better off you're going to do. So the bottom line, ADA, SSL, 2FA aren't optional anymore. They are the foundation of a trusted firm in today's world. So the good news is at CountingWorks Pro, you all have all these tools in place in one platform. It's just a matter of make sure you defaulted these on. If for some reason you turned anything off, again, reach out to our support. You can do that through chat at countingworkspro.com or send an email to help@countingworkspro.com. So I hope this has been valuable. I just wanted to go through all the different options here, how our system works for as far as security goes. I think it's really important that you at least make sure everything is enabled, that you're in compliance. And if you're not a customer of ours and you're looking at your own website or concern and of the security or any threats to your site, you're definitely a partner that you can talk to. So again, thank you for spending some time with me on this Tactical Tuesday. Until next time, stay safe, and I hope you're enjoying your summer. Thank you.